is getting your bag while winning. I don't want Draymond Green in anything less than a championship contending equation. Anything less, you don't want that for Draymond Green.
ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting Wizards forward Kyle Kuzma's declined his $13 million player option. Will become a free agent. He'll be one of the marketplace's most prominent players, but it is also possible he returns to Washington. Yankees reinstated outfielder Harrison Bader from the injured list. Bader, out with a hamstring strain since May 30th, will hit sixth and play center field tonight against the Mariners.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, final hour of the program here on a Power Rankings Tuesday. If you're just joining us, you missed the Power Rankings last hour, top 13 cornerbacks for 2023.
But you can go back on the YouTube. You can go back on the iHeartRadio app. You can do it on the Apple Podcast. You can frankly do it on anything where you can get a podcast. And on the YouTube, now it's broken up by hour. So as opposed to having to discern through, 3 hours of content, just find it in the hours.
That's right.
And it's all titled. It tells you where it is.
That's right.
We're trying something. We don't have an SEO guy. It's me.
All right, so find the hour 2 version on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is top of the third hour of the program. As always, we do the daily draft where Jeremy, myself, and intern Jake at the intern Jake.
I love that he got the. He's like the Ohio State University. He is the intern Jake.
Did you capitalize it?
I did.
And is everything else capitalized, or is it like little letters?
The capital T, intern, capital I, and then Jake.
Yeah, some jerk somewhere that has like 4 followers had intern Jake.
So,
and they probably don't even know how to open their Twitter, because when I send them a message saying, hey, I'll give you 4 cents for your Twitter handle, they did not respond.
So at the intern Jake, he has the first pick?
No, I have the
Jeremy
first pick.
does.
Jeremy has the first pick in today's daily draft.
Jake has the second pick. And here's what we're doing. All right. So in the last hour, we picked our top 13 corners. Well, I did. And largely there was a lot of agreement around the room. So now we're going to build our ideal secondary. Means you need 2 corners. You need 2 safeties. So, with the first pick, I feel like getting my number 1 corner is a formidable way for me to start.
Absolutely.
So I will take the greatest corner in the history of the NFL.
Oh, my God.
Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
The New York Jets secondary. It is pretty good.
Man, I've never been happier to be wrong on a player that my team was taking.
Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. You got Michael Carter still there. No, not the running back, but the cornerback. Chuck Clark, Jordan Whitehead.
Adrian Amos.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chuck Clark's hurt. He blew out his ACL. So he's definitely, that's why we signed Adrian Amos.
Okay.
But, look, secondary is formidable. I'd probably be the only member of the secondary that I select in this little draft, but it was not hard for me to decide to take Sauce numero uno.
All right. Jake, you have the second pick. What secondary do you have next on your list? Because, I feel like we all have the Jets at 1.
I don't know if I should take the second best corner or the best safety. You know what?
Oh, this is where the strategery comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to take what I think is the best safety. Give me Minka Fitzpatrick.
It's a formidable selection.
I love it.
I have to give the kid credit. He's learning the game. Tank, we've fought And now I'm afraid we're going to foe. Because the kid's smarter than us, and now he's figured out the game.
All right, so you're taking the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary.
Yeah. Minka, Fitzpatrick.
No. You're taking individual players.
Oh, I thought we were taking the best secondaries.
No,
it says
no,
on the
no.
board, secondaries.
Yeah, building the best one. I mean, I would agree with that, except I, specifically said that when we started this.
Yeah, no, I don't.
2 corners, 2 safeties. We need to get Tank a cup of coffee. I don't know how he'd drink it because he might actually.
You should probably verify the rules before we start.
I thought we did that.
I did. I mean, I actually said them. I explained them to all the people listening. Tank was. I mean, I'll give him credit. It's 433 degrees in here, so Tank was probably trying not to die because he is wearing a all black Georgia shirt that doesn't look like it breathes all that well.
Yeah, it does not breathe at all. I am about to suffocate in here. All right, so thanks for explaining the rules to the game for me.
Jake, I do love, another reason I love having you here is so that you could go, he did. 2 times.
Yeah, 2 seconds before we started, I literally love it because I believe I did say before the show. Okay, so we're doing best secondaries. Awesome.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't listen to you either. So.
Exactly. All right, this is going horribly wrong. So Minka Fitzpatrick was the choice by Jake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give you a hand here because there's a player you absolutely love that should be pretty easy right here.
Well, I'm going Patrick Surtain.
I can't fault you there. And I think it's probably a pretty formidable selection.
I mean, I don't feel like I can really go all that wrong.
Oh, no, I mean, we're all going to end up doing quite nicely here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Now, see, this is where I err because do I try to go safety, or do I go second straight up corner? And I think I'm going with the best 1-2 punch corner that I can think of in my mind. And I think the number 2 is a guy that you said pretty early in your top 13. But if I've got Patrick Surtain, then I also want J.C. Horn. Because now I have the youngest cornerback tandem that's, I mean, aside from Sauce Gardner.
That was almost
To me, J.C. Horn is maybe not in the top 5, but he's right outside the top 5 for me.
Even though you haven't seen him play.
What little I have seen him play, I believe in the talent. I believe in the talent coming in.
I'm not in any way disputing that.
And
I agree with you.
22-year-old guy. I mean, do I think that he's injury prone? I don't think he's earned that tag yet. Do you?
No, I'm more forgiving with the injury prone thing, which is almost, I feel like why you asked me that, because you knew I was going to say no. I'm you're 2 years in the league and he hadn't played 1,000 snaps yet. That's bold. I mean, look, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I love J.C. Horn. He was in my top 13 just based off what I have already seen. But, man, that does feel high. PFF had him at 29 among corners last year.
I mean, among corners last year. I mean, didn't he?
He was
miss
worse
a few
than
games
played
last
13
year?
games last year.
He played 13 games last year. Yeah, he was lower than that the year before. He didn't play enough snaps in 2021 to actually register a ranking, but he was a 67.8. He was a 71.4 last year.
Fully healthy, I feel like this is a guy that is going to be in the All-Pro discussion each and every year.
I don't disagree with you. I'm a little shocked you took him that high. If for nothing else, because I basically just told you I wasn't going to.
Yeah, my reaction was when the Eagles took Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson. So I have my pick in already. Give me Jalen Ramsey with
Go for it.
With my second pick.
No reservation about a few burnings last year, getting toasted.
Look,
Yeah,
I need a lockdown corner. And I feel like Jalen Ramsey is definitely the best available. I mean, he's the third corner on your list, correct?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I take the third best corner with my second pick. I have the first best safety. feel like I'm doing pretty hot right now.
I mean, I can't blame you for the way you've started. That's certain to me. But now I have come to back-to-back picks. I started with Sauce Gardner, who is my number one corner in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Tank, you have J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain.
Yes.
The intern, Jake, has Minkah Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
So other than one corner, I feel like I might as well take the number one safety, Derwin James. To me, I'm going to say the same thing about Derwin James that you just said about J.C. Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Has he missed some time?
Yes,
he has. When he has been on the field, has there been a better safety in the NFL than Derwin James over the last handful of years?
No.
Is it all that close? I think it's close with Minkah.
Yeah.
And he's been more available.
Yeah.
But to me, that's 1, 2, and there is a chasm between 3, 4, 5, 6, on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Do either of you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree. I think you're right.
Because for me, I'm looking at safety going, you know what? I can wait. I don't need to take another one here. I can just go ahead and take another corner, which I'm going to do with Jair Alexander. I don't think he gets the love he deserves. And I don't know if it's because he plays in Green Bay. I don't know because he plays in that system. I'm not 100% sure why that is. But I feel just absolutely hunky-dunky here to take him with my third selection.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that was somebody I was eyeing down. But I think I might as well do it. This could be a little bit of a reach here, but we talked about him before the show. I really, really like him. Let's do Antoine Winfield.
Mother guy.
I was completely prepared for Tank to take him away from me. I was not prepared. And you know what? Good answer. Like, if we're playing Family Feud, just because you just burned Tank, because I know he had no backup plan.
I hate you so
Which
much.
means he may take me with his other safety selection here.
I mean, I feel like you got Minkah, who's going to help over the top, ball hawk. Antoine Winfield, put him in the box.
Heavy
Knock a
hitter.
dude's socks off.
Heavy hitter.
There you
I
go.
like it. I don't like that you did it, but I do like the pick, because what's not to like about Antoine Winfield Jr.?
It was a formidable selection. I was prepared for you to take him. I wasn't really prepared.
Well, I was 100% going to take him. I had my safeties all planned out here, getting Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn. I was going to add Antoine Winfield Jr. to this, and and a guy that I'd talk about all the time. I think he's one of the best safeties in the league, and it's always factored into my prognostications for his team because I already have one of his teammates. It's Justin Simmons. To me, he's one of the best safeties in this league. He does practically everything that Antoine Winfield Jr. can do. I don't think he's as rangy as Antoine Winfield is. He's not as speedy.
He's better in coverage.
He is
though.
a sure tackler.
He's much better in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
He has over a 70 PFF grade 7 of his 8 years. And the one time he didn't, he was hurt. And played hurt. So, I can't fault you for that. That's not who... I mean, I had him on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have ever gotten there, but more because I took Derwin James early.
Well, of course. Yeah. And then I'm going to round out my secondary with the second safety. It's Talanoa Hufanga, just because I love saying his name, and he is a hell of a talent that, peaked last year. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere last year for a lot of NFL fans. With the San Francisco 49ers, that's my fourth selection here to round out my secondary.
I see nothing wrong with any of that.
I think it's a good list. But is it as good as mine after I take this next pick? So we got Jalen Ramsey, lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Great on the line, can press. I need a ball hawk.
Trayvon Diggs?
Give me Tariq Woolen.
Ah.
Ooh.
Give me Tariq Woolen. I like the youth here.
He went a little off the board there. I like it.
Okay. So you went 2 youngins and 2 elderlies. I like it.
And I feel like now I'm going to just, go ahead and lock this thing down, make sure I've completely won this, because I've already got Sauce Gardner, I've already got Jair Alexander, I've already got Derwin James, and to that I'm going to add Kevin Byard of the Tennessee Titans. You talk about really consistent with really inconsistent pass rush in front of him. Look, I love Harold Landry. I kind of told you the Bud Dupree thing was going to go exactly how it did. I hope Tennessee finds a way to acquiesce him. I know that he's done I scrubbed my Instagram of anything blue. So we need to, okay, Tennessee, I'm getting worried because that roster is starting to scare me a little bit. But Kevin Byard is an absolute, no doubt, constant. If you had the ability to take any other one player, who would it be?
Any other
if there's a player
player
that you didn't take because it was too high, but you want to say the name here, because I have one of those, no doubt, and I think he is about to have a dog year.
Oh, I got to go with the regulator. Pretty handy with steel. Jack Jones. Let's go.
Oh,
Oh my. Oh my. That is I wasn't prepared for any of that. No. I didn't know where he was going. I heard never mind, no good could come from what I'm gonna say right here. Okay, who would you actually have taken? The joke was good, don't get me wrong.
Thank you. Are we taking do we have to take a slot safety now?
No, you take any player you want. Okay. Just the 5th player that he's not quite to the point that you could take him now in this, but it's you think a year from now they will be in the discussion.
Oh, a year from now? Javon Holland? I'm just trying to think
that's
of
not bad.
A young guy who, with having Jalen Ramsey on the team could see some more opportunities for some takeaways. I've always liked his game.
That's a formidable selection. Jake?
I'd probably take Devin Witherspoon, honestly.
Ooh,
I'd team him up with
full rookie.
With Tariq Woolen.
Yeah, mine, and you just remember I said this because he was way better last year than people think. Kyle Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like that.
Taking the Chuck Clark element out of the way it's certainly got to – I think he's going to be laying the hammer this year.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Travis, time ago, 26 westbound west of Upward Road to approaching Hendersonville Road due to a disabled vehicle. Right lane is closed. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy and moving well. Patton Avenue, no delays. New Leicester Highway, no backup. Smoky Park Highway, incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road moving well. Hendersonville Road, no problems. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 19 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Plus, get deals on select accessories and free shipping on everything. Save now by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset you need to own the day. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at your local retailer today.
Stop waiting for a great deal on Better Sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is happening now. Save up to $700 on top brands when you get a king bed for a queen price. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today to get the right bed at the right price.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are fucking disgrace.
And we are back on ESPN Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. It is so hot in the studio.
It is 433 degrees.
Refreshment is so good.
I genuinely think we may melt before this is all said and done.
I'm telling you, man. The closer the end of the show comes, the more I'm having to fight off taking off some articles of clothing.
Go ahead and tell you. You know that old rule that I have about you never want to fight the naked guy? You don't want to be naked fighting me. So that shirt comes off, I promise you, we'll get her back on you.
He's like, we're going to fight.
We will get it back on you. I am not prepared to see what formerly Fat Tank Spencer looks like after he lost I don't know, 7 fully loaded backpacks and 4 fat babies. I don't want to know what that looks like.
Kind of a mixture between Baby Huey and a hound dog.
Yeah, that's what was in my head.
All right, so I made the insensitive joke about Jack Jones, cornerback for the New England Patriots, who was busted over the weekend for, federal charges here.
Yeah, could do 30 years in prison.
Dude tried to take guns on an airplane. Boston's Logan Airport found a Glock box with 2 guns and ammunition inside a bag that had Jones's name on it. The 25-year-old is charged with 2 counts of the following offenses: possession of a concealed weapon in a secure area of the airport, possession of ammunition without a firearm identification card, unlawful possession of a firearm, carrying a loaded firearm, and possession of a large capacity feeding device. This is not the thing that Tank's mom used to use to satisfy him as a baby. No, this is obviously large magazine. Now, 2 of the counts against Jones have mandatory minimum prison sentences of 2.5 years if he is indicted and convicted. 2 other counts carry mandatory minimum sentences of 18 months if he is convicted of those charges as well. So, could be a whole lot of time for Jack Jones. As we all know, it's probably not going to be the case.
Oh, it's a mandatory prison sentence. So if look, there are certain places in this country.
There's also discretion with the judge, I'm sure, of whether or not those have to be served consecutively or all together.
Well, I mean,
so he's not like it's not like the dude's gonna face 30 years in prison.
No, but he could do jail time.
He absolutely could.
I mean, and there are certain places in this country that you just don't mess around with guns because they do not play around with you. Plaxico Burress found this out. A lot of people don't remember this. Plaxico, Super Bowl champion wide receiver, shoots himself in a nightclub, does time in jail. Now, here's why I wanted to talk about this, and I'm getting a little frustrated at this notion that Jack Jones he's never done anything wrong. He's never. This was just an innocent mistake. This is what his PR team is basically saying.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think I'm stupid? I keep notes on every player I've ever graded. This kid got kicked out of Arizona State. And, this is not new information. And I told Tank, I feel like you probably remember this. I love this kid's tape. He was a top 100 player for me on last year's big board. Mm-hmm. But what was the number one thing I said? He's got more red flags than a NASCAR race in a thunderstorm. Because there were just countless things that had happened, and there was always an excuse. And he got kicked out of he got kicked off the team at USC, not at Arizona State.
Right.
He landed at Arizona State.
Right.
So I mean, I struggle to believe in a place that is as strict with gun laws as Massachusetts is, and the fact that this kid does in the past have an arrest for breaking into a restaurant. He's got felony charges that came from the commercial burglary. Mm-hmm. In my experience between New York State and Massachusetts, these charges don't tend to go away. They'll give you one. Quentin Williams had one. That was in New Jersey. But he had one. But he had absolutely no past previous to that. Mm-hmm. I will be borderline shocked if Jack Jones doesn't do at least a little time in jail. I'll be shocked.
What's the excuse of him even bringing the guns?
I don't know. This has always been a problem that I've had if I don't understand, how you think. There are certain places that you can get away with this. In Texas, hell, I think they give you one when you get off the plane. Here's your free, welcome to Texas, here's your free gun. There are certain places that don't do that, and you have to know that. Tank knows this well. I used to travel for a living. I flew between 4 and 10 times a week, and you can assume my takes on the old bang bang. Just, if you know me, then you probably have figured out where I stand there. So I don't blame the kid for having a gun. To me, those two things are completely insulated. This notion that him having a gun makes him a bad guy. I don't feel that way. Now, having a gun in Logan International Airport makes you incredibly stupid. And it's just the way it is. There is no way, when he got drafted by the New England Patriots, that he did not get specifically told, there are certain things that you can and you cannot do. This is very high on the list of things you can't do. Mm-hmm. So you made a stupid mistake. We say it on the show all the time. You have FOD. You're about to foe. The question is, where did you fall on the scale? Because in the state of Massachusetts, you have 18 FOD. If you 18 foe, your career may be over.
The official stance from his PR team is that he had no intention of taking the guns to the airport, that basically he didn't know that they were in his luggage, which to me, as I said earlier in the program, has to lead you down the path of he didn't pack his luggage. Maybe he had an assistant do that. Maybe he had a social media person. I don't know.
I struggle to believe that.
I don't understand how you could accidentally pack this, because the Glock box is it's a suitcase, big enough to fit 2 guns in. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty sizable thing. I don't know how you don't see it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care if you did it with malice. I don't care if you did it on purpose. I don't care if someone else did it and you carried the bag. This shows horrible judgment coming from a kid who had the talent to be a top 100 pick. The reason that he wasn't was because he showed Horrible judgment. So stop telling me that all of this is about something that it's not. This is a kid that made a really stupid decision. As Andreas Pinkney in our YouTube comments said, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Well, you have officially played stupid games. Now the question is, what is your prize at the end of this particular festivity? And I don't tend to be overly harsh here, but I'm also not the one making this call. I mean, and I say it again, do I think it's incredibly stupid? Yes. Do I think there was any malice? No. And I also think that your excuse here is incredibly stupid. Just own up to it. Oh, somebody else did. Okay, then who was that? That's weird. This is where that maybe it was your assistant fell apart. You have said that. You would have said somebody else packed the bag, they're getting ready to take the heat for it, and that person would be sitting on a social media post to say, I'm the one that did this. Mercy of the court, I did this.
Right.
Weird. 3 or 4 days later, nobody's done that.
I would love to know if this is the truth and he had no clue what was in the bag and he packed it himself. What the hell did you think was in that little briefcase?
There's no possible way.
There were crimes. Whatever it was, there were crimes in that briefcase. Whether it was going to be the guns or drugs or something, there was going to be something nefarious in that briefcase.
Slasher in our YouTube comment said, the whole situation's absolutely dumb. Everyone has a right to protect themselves wherever they travel. Highly doubt he was carrying those guns for legal purposes. I don't disagree with the words you just said. Here's the problem. There are certain places in this country that you cannot go into because they don't agree with what you just said. They think the fact that you had a weapon on your person is a extremely punishable offense, and not knowing that is really immature. And I don't care if you didn't know. I didn't care if you know it was in the bag. I don't care the situation. You have to be more self-aware, especially when you have a history like this. There were teams that didn't have him on the board. Teams that I talk to quite frequently. No shot. We won't touch him. Because there are more immaturity things, and I can't verify them, which is the reason I'm not going to say them here. I can tell you the things that appear in AP articles, they happened. And that was just tried, convicted, done. It might have been a plea deal, I don't remember. But the judicial system took its course, and this happened. There were other things that I heard over the course of the process that showed really bad immaturity and really bad judgment. This does the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I will not be shocked if, especially with Bill, I won't be shocked if this is the end of the ride.
Anything's on the table.
With Bill, nothing would surprise me. If he just outright cut him right now, it wouldn't shut me in the least.
Right. Felony charges, trying to take guns to an airport. It's pretty hard to skirt that rule. We're not accepting your excuses at this point. Like it does not matter. Oh, I didn't know they were there. Oh, they weren't mine. None of that matters when it's possession's 9/10 of the law, right?
Well, I mean, and even then, when you have to be more careful. You cost yourself millions of dollars for bad decisions you made at USC and in your past. You have to know these things. Facts don't care about your feelings. It's just the way it is. There's a reason that we have habitual offender laws in this country, is because once you have done it multiple times, it really subjects itself to, this is no accident. This is no oopsie doopsie. No, it's not the first time you've done it.
You know us. We have nothing against gun ownership. If you're going to do it, though, know all the laws. Know what laws you have to follow. Can you travel with guns on an airplane? Yes, you can. But you have to have all of the federal permits and the lock boxes and whatever they tell you you have to have to make it happen.
And you can in Massachusetts anyway.
Maybe.
I'm telling you, physically, you cannot fly into Logan International Airport. There is nothing you can do unless you're an air marshal.
Right.
That was the last point I wanted to get to, and Stone Sports Podcast just made it in our YouTube comments. I'm scared to bring liquids to the airport, let alone 2 weapons.
No kidding.
I've never physically taken liquid through TSA. I just buy a Coke when I get through every single time. That's what people who travel for a living, you have to be careful. So does it cost you more? Sure. Because all he had to do, and I'm skirting the law here a little bit, all he had to do is ship 2 guns. It ain't that hard to do. So if you wanted them with you, you're still playing loosey-goosey with the law, but here you were just being stupid. they're going to find it. So that is my 2 cents on that. I won't be shocked if Jack Jones is released by the end of the week.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Jack Jones did crimes. Bob Huggins did crimes.
Bob Huggins did do crimes.
And when we come next, I mean, we're going to bring you the most important message of the day, which is...
Don't do crimes!
Exactly.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flash flood watch continues all the way into Thursday. Juicy weather pattern for the start of summertime. Much of western North Carolina under flood watches here into the midweek forecast. Mid-60s for tonight with slow-moving downpours and thunderstorms. Quite capable of dumping half-inch to 1-inch rainfall totals. More thunderstorms Wednesday, high 67, and thunderstorms Thursday with a high of 70. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Upward Road and Hendersonville Road. 26 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 eastbound again slow between Tunnel Road and exit 8. Hendersonville Road northbound at Academy Street, an accident reported. Howard Gap Road near Popcorn Drive, an accident in the White Oak Village area. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. OMG. Hot and crisp nacho fries are back at Taco Bell, but they won't be here forever. Yeah, hot and crisp fries covered in bold Mexican spices with a side of nacho cheese sauce are only here for a limited time at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news from national to almost every local sports station in the country. Plus, don't miss the NBA draft this Thursday. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com. And as promised, people that move out to California chasing the glitz and glamour lifestyle, end up on Skid Row. I know a couple of them personally that have done this. Now, I've never known any of them to be the attention of first responders by going shirtless on top of a rooftop and throwing things at the first responders that come to the scene. Last night, about 11:30 p.m., the 1700 block of South Main Street in Venice, a man being followed by police after allegedly standing on top of a Metro bus, eventually climbed on top of the building that was under construction in the area, so it was under construction, which means on top of the building there were weapons and things up there for him to throw down at the firefighters and the cops. Video from the scene will show this shirtless man throwing like 2x4s off the top of the building at the firefighters who were like on the ladder trying to get this guy down to safety. 90 minutes the standoff took place in the parking lot of this business. Here's the kicker, though. If something like that happened here in Asheville, I feel like we would have a pretty good summation to the story, right? You would have had the name so-and-so, 25 years old, was high on drugs, and he was, taken into custody and charged with all of these crimes. The way the news cycle works in L.A., they didn't even follow up. The story from KTLA 5 says 90 minutes, firefighters and police were on the scene. It ended with no one being injured, and we're not sure if the guy was taken into custody or not. I feel like throwing 2x4s at firefighters is cause for assault charges, at least.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Oh, California.
Oh, my God.
And this is the reason that I don't get high on drugs or high on crimes. But I do get drunk on Fireball pretty often. My story is from the lovely state of Louisiana. It's about a woman named Martha Jasenia Gutierrez Serrano. She's 28 years old, and she just completed her junior year of high school. Let me let that marinate for you for a second.
What?
How many 28-year-olds you ever known that were juniors in high school? None! You know why? Because that's illegal, and it's the third time this has happened in 6 months. She posed as a 17-year-old student and enrolled in Hahnville High School in Butte, Louisiana. Now, every other one of these stories, if you recall, I told another story just like this in which a girl was caught within 4 days because they went, oh, wait, you're not 17 years old because, 28-year-olds and 17-year-olds don't look alike. There was also a story of a coach of a high school basketball team that decided to sub herself into the game, posing as a high schooler. They caught that very quickly.
That was a great story.
The difference in this one, she went to the school the whole year, and nobody ever went. You know how they caught her?
How?
When she went to re-register. Because she used a different social security number.
Oh.
See, sorry, in the words of the great Alex Trebek. Oh, sorry. That's missed it by that much. What? The excuse? She wanted to learn English.
Okay.
Do you know how many easier ways there are to learn English than have to go back to high school?
I mean, there's lots of ESL classes at
No
your
doubt.
local community college. Those things are great.
No doubt. And it's so easy to get into. They're very cheap. It's no problem there. Stop posting in high school. It's weird. It's weird, okay? Even if you're not being weird, it seems like you're being weird.
I mean, this is just. These are people that are cheaper than oxygen. They are the Tank Spencer of criminals, because I don't want to pay to go to college. I'm just gonna go for free. I mean, I pay taxes, or maybe these people don't pay taxes. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Hunter Biden sure
It's free.
Second
let's
time?
go.
Second
Let's
time?
go. I am
I'm so
here.
excited.
I am here to party.
I'm just curious to what her GPA was in that year.
I don't know. It
If
didn't
you're
tell me.
28 years old
Come on.
and you're taking high school classes and your GPA is lower than what, you get made fun of.
Oh. Well, I mean, that leads into a whole different question. Like, if you went back to high school right now, what would your GPA be?
Mine?
Yes.
Oh, I'd still be at a solid 2.
Really?
I don't know. I probably would care even less than I did the first time around. So,
Oh, I
don't know. I feel like I could pull in a solid 3.2. That's
I mean, I couldn't hit the same number that I previously had because shockingly enough, I actually was my GPA was pretty high.
Really?
Which is what allowed me to be accepted into the great, luxurious, and very high academic standard University, West Virginia. Unfortunately, I also have something in common with their now former basketball coach, which is I like beers a lot. Now, you know what? You ought not do is drink 100 beers and then get behind the wheel of a car. And apparently, Bob Huggins does not understand that.
No, because he's been doing this a while.
Well,
right? How old is Bob Huggins?
69.
He's 69 years
69,
old.
One or the other.
Which means he's been hammering beers for 51 years? I mean, when he was coming up, the drinking age was probably 18.
Well, he's also a West Virginia feller, so I'd say you're probably shooting it a little low.
Maybe.
Because I'm 36 and been doing it for 34 years, so, So, it's,
Wait, I feel like he's doing that Bradley Beal thing again. Like, it feels like you've been doing it for 35 years. Like, Bradley Beal feels like he's 32 years old.
Oh, no.
But he's not.
My number that's one of the only crimes I ever did, and I did it a whole bunch of times.
So, Bob Huggins, after his latest scandal.
I almost feel like he was trying to get fired.
I don't know. I really don't. How many times?
Well, I mean, you want to hear the conspiracy that's going around Morgantown right now?
Yeah, what's that?
This ain't the first time. Tank, how many times have I told you this? That it was well known.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby likes brewskis.
How many drunks do you know? Just ballpark figure. I mean, you hang out in bars all the time. How many do you know?
How many? What do I know?
Drunks.
Oh, what is the highest number I could count to? It's not every person I know, but it's a lot of them.
And I would say that there are a lot of them, especially of the older generation, who go, I've done this before. I can make it home. It's not a sound idea. You should never drink and drive, especially when there's so many opportunities for you not to these days with Uber and taxi cab services or whatever. We've got ways.
Well, I mean,
Bob Huggins could call up a staffer at the university and go, please come get me. I've had way too much. And they go, okay, well, so it must be Tuesday, Bob.
Bob could have called me, and I would have driven up to Morgantown. Like, you'll probably be able to drive that car by the time I can get there, but I'd still do it.
Right. I would be willing to wager that Bob Huggins, week in and week, I'll say in a month, he probably drives drunk 6-7 times out of the month. And I'm probably lowballing.
That's an assumption.
It is an assumption.
We're not making learned.
Look, alcoholics in my family, I know how this game goes, okay? You can have all the talks with them you want to, but they just will never learn their lesson. Hell, I drive better drunk. If I had $1 for every time I've heard that.
You know what? If I had $1 for every time I've heard that, I would be. I'd make a lot.
Absolutely. Bob Huggins
just don't do it.
Does not. I mean, he thinks he can get away with it. Essentially.
Well,
I'm the big dog in this town.
Well, and that's the conspiracy theory that's happening right now is how many times has it happened he's been let go or they've driven him home.
Absolutely.
And then the incident happened with the homophobic slur that he used on the radio a few weeks ago, and then it was, okay, zero tolerance. If you catch him again, we got to be done with this.
Yep.
Because his behavior had become very erratic. And he was never the most even-keeled guy. But it's unfortunate that such a great coach, that this will probably be what he's remembered for. And that's very, very unfortunate. And now I look to where does West Virginia turn here? And for me, I would make 3 calls, and all 3 of them are very close to here.
Okay.
Steve Forbes is one.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
And before you say, why would he leave the ACC for West Virginia? 3 words: country, roads, collective. West Virginia at this point has more money than you could shake a stick at, and they're not going to be outspent.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Steve Forbes has made Wake Forest competitive in the ACC. I feel like he feels like going to the Big 12 could be a hell of an opportunity.
They have a really good transfer class as well. Really, really good.
Well, you're going to be able to recruit. You'll be able to recruit at West Virginia to get people to come play in the Big 12 because, as we've been talking about the expansion of the Big 12, they're focusing on basketball. They've been talking about possibly bringing in UConn, who was the other basketball, Gonzaga, possibly bringing them in. Let's knock it out of the park when it comes to basketball since we're going to lose the battle 10 times out of 10 when it comes to football. And so that is a very attractive conference to be in my opinion. You already have Kansas.
Oh, I don't disagree with you in the least.
Right. And so
But I mean, and
it would
there's
make
another
sense.
for me, there's another layer of this of okay, Mark Few did virtually the same thing just a few months ago. None of us will ever remember that. You know why? Because it's not a habit of behavior that it had become with Bob Huggins. Now, for how attractive the job is, I think the conference is very attractive. And I look at two that that you and I know pretty well. Pat Kelsey at the College of Charleston and Bob Ritchie at Furman.
Yep.
For me, there's no doubt I'd be making that call.
100%.
And that is where my search would begin and probably end.
Yeah, I would not go with a retread, one of these
I don't want John
coaches.
I don't want John Balin back. I've heard that. He's 70-something years old. The game has changed. I mean, you got to understand, of the 25 best transfers in all of college basketball, West Virginia got 4 of them. What does that tell you? It tells you they're throwing money around like it is going out of style. So I struggle to believe that this will be a retread or a hire off the Huggins staff. Before the show, Jake had said Andy Kennedy that's at UAB. He's a great coach. There's one problem. He's tied to Bob Huggins. And I cannot envision that they are hiring anybody. This is going to be one of those persona non grata things of, Bob, we appreciate all that you did, but now we have to completely distance ourselves from
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm looking at completely out of the family hires. I don't care if you've been an assistant here. I can't remember the name now. There's a coach at South Carolina State that was an assistant at West Virginia forever. I struggle to even believe they would go down that road.
Eric Martin.
Yep. I struggle to believe they'd even go there.
Right.
I think you swing for the fences with one of these young coaches. And for me, it's really unfortunate. Bob Huggins brought me a lot of enjoyment as a coach. This West Virginia program was not in great shape when he took this job. And he did great things. Unfortunately, he did some bad things. And, one of the things that where we're at in this country and where we're at in this society is that you will always be remembered for the bad things that you do much more than the good things you do, which is why you don't do, and we say it every day, don't do crimes.
Years
don't
from now,
do bad
though,
things.
will people remember?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, will it be as bad as Bob Knight?
Oh,
no, I don't think it will.
I don't know. You can't mention his tenure at Cincinnati now. I mean, and we're 20 years removed from that. You can't mention that now without saying that he got fired for a DUI. It was really ugly at the end, and he had a 0 graduation rate at Cincinnati. Yes, literally, he never graduated a player in all the years he was at Cincinnati. So, it's unfortunate, and I hope that these poor decisions do not put a dark cloud over how great a coach he was, because he was a great coach. I think he's one of the top 10 coaches of all time. I just hope history remembers him that way.
And I think I think we will. I think we'll all remember Bob Huggins as one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. Did he have a snoot or two? All of the time? Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But he was a great college basketball coach, and it was time.
I'm proof positive. You can drink a lot. You just got to be responsible, and people won't care. Which is why I go to a bar, 51 North Merriman Avenue, the Village Porch, that I can walk to. Then I drive a car. You can drink all you want.
Don't drink and drive, and don't do crimes. This is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. That'll do it for us today. We will be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is slow between Upward Road to approaching Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound slowing between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. On Chimney Rock Road, approaching I-26, traffic is slow. Howard Gap Road at Popcorn Drive near White Oak Village, an accident. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyman Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Verizon. Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
Get your tickets now
at AXS.com
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Coming back to Las Vegas.
2 nights.
September 22nd and 23rd.
1 stage.
At T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live. Only on Hulu.
This is the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Buy your tickets for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival now.
Before they sell out.
At AXS.com.
That's AXS.com.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I'm going out on a limb and guess that you probably give a hoot about your eyes. But you'd rather feather your nest than overpay for eye care, which is why you should fly to America's Best, where a comprehensive eye exam plus 2 pairs of glasses starts at just $79.95. I'm telling you, that's not just a better deal, it's America's Best. Hallie's Alpun's working for you, okay? Buy glasses or book an exam today at americasbest.com.
In certain states, eye exams provided by independent practices. See store for details.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flash flood watch continues all the way into Thursday. Juicy weather pattern for the start of summertime. Much of western North Carolina under flood watches here into the midweek forecast. Mid-60s for tonight with slow-moving downpours and thunderstorms. Quite capable of dumping half-inch to 1-inch rainfall totals. More thunderstorms Wednesday, high 67, and thunderstorms Thursday with a high of 70. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Ingalls Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.